This project started with a moment of inspiration I'd like to share with you. My neighbors on North College were having a massive keg party next door. Naturally, I was stuck in my apartment working on a paper or something. I could tell by the thumping music and joyous shouts coming from the house they were having a great time. Then something occurred to me as a partygoer made it to 20 seconds on their keg stand. What if all those people next door were helping to change the world and they didn't even know it? What if all their hedonism and worldly revelry was actually making our community a better place? Wouldn't that be awesome? Well, in my remaining time, I'm going to tell you how it's possible. In the next 10 minutes, I'll give you 10 good reasons Kegz for Kids is not only an innovative, but also a viable way to improve the community of Oxford. And potentially, I think, this could reach far beyond even Butler County. First, allow me to relieve some possible confusion. We won't be giving any kegs to kids. That's absurd. Here is the mission if you choose to accept it. As an organization, Kegz for Kids would coordinate the retrieval and return of kegs from the people who bought them to the place they bought them from. At that point, we would collect the deposits paid on the keg. On a basis determined by dollars or time, we would then redistribute the collected funds to children's charities and support organizations in the Oxford area. It's that simple. They buy the kegs, we take them back, retrieve the funds, turn around, and redistribute them for the benefit of area children. Take a look at this picture. You may see nothing more than a stack of kegs lit up like a Christmas tree. But I see much more than that. I see an opportunity. An opportunity to turn something seen as a nuisance and a societal ill into social action. A chance to liquidate this so-called vice into an asset that can benefit humanity. Now, the 10 reasons I promised. Number 1, there is a need for creative forms of fundraising and entrepreneurship. Very important to this project is the idea that nonprofit organizations need to be focused on taking advantage of unrealized opportunities. Kegz for Kids makes the fundraising process the primary focus of the organization. This kind of aggressive and innovative social action is crucial in today's cynical and overstimulated society. At the same time, it's a nonprofit to begin with, so the complete benefit is transferred to society rather than a collection of shareholders. Therefore, this nonprofit will be all about business, taking an aggressive entrepreneurial approach to the problem of fundraising for the benefit of the least of us. Number 2, let's talk about how underprivileged children are in our society, especially in the state of Ohio. To begin with, over the past 11 years, the Ohio Supreme Court has 3 times declared the state's system of school funding unconstitutional. 3 times, and it's still unfixed. As a result, some kids simply fall through the cracks, particularly children in rural areas. A recent study by the Carsey Institute found Ohio was one of 5 states in which the rate of rural child poverty increased over 5% in the last 5 years. Today, over 100,000 children living in rural Ohio live in impoverished conditions. The biggest tragedy is children rely on us, and when we stay quiet, we are proclaiming our acquiescence and guaranteeing things will not change anytime soon. But it doesn't have to be that way. Kegz for Kids doesn't aim at transforming our state system of school funding or establishing broad social safety nets for Ohio's rural children. Instead, the aim of Kegz for Kids is local. This is about what we can do in our own backyard to make things better. First our backyard, then our neighbor's backyard, then the global backyard. Keg deposits provide an opportunity to do that, an opportunity that has been, as we might say, untapped to this point. This might seem a logistical nightmare on its face, but thankfully it isn't. In Ohio, kegs must be purchased with cash from a wholesaler, providing a central location and cash transaction for our organization. No messes with credit cards or dozens of retailers to deal with. The next logical question is, how much can really be made from kegs? Here are some price estimates from area keg dealers. At Dickerson Distributing in Monroe, the take for our organizations would amount to about $60 per keg, less if the buyer already has a tap. At Heidelberg, with locations in Dayton and Cincinnati, we would stand to receive about $40 per keg. These are prices for half kegs, which contain 165 12-ounce servings, or the equivalent of nearly 7 cases of beer. Here in Oxford, you can get a quarter barrel or pony keg at the U Shop on High Street, where we could collect deposits between $10 and $20 depending on the brand of beer purchased. Taking all of these numbers into account, it is my conservative estimation that Kegz for Kids could raise $1,000 per semester. That would be 100 kegs from the U Shop or as few as 17 from Dickerson Distributing. Compare that to what you might expect from a bake sale, peddling on the street corner, or even a silent auction. By harnessing the party power of this campus, we could produce great dividends for Oxford children. Number 5. We have it easy here. I mean, classes are demanding, it's impossible to find any free time, we constantly have to deal with those boneheads in our classes, professors. But let's be real and honest here. This is far from the real world. Being in our privileged position as college students at a top university, where they treat their students pretty well, it is our obligation to do everything we can do to give of ourselves that much more to make life a little better, a little easier, to make the future a little brighter for children who at this point, college is a dream, not a promise. 6. Kegz for Kids would provide an opportunity to make connections between existing campus organizations. A few examples are becoming involved in alcohol abuse education functions at Miami, initiating or supporting community cleanups, or reaching out directly to area youth. These kinds of connections would help enhance the value of Kegz for Kids as a campus organization and raise the profile of our entrepreneurial focus among campus organizations who might benefit from a more aggressive approach. Reason number 7. Not everyone drinks at college. A lot of people do. If you're underage, it's illegal and you shouldn't drink. If you're over 21 and acting responsibly, knock your socks off. Some people want to make drinking taboo, but here's the way I see it. There are things people should know about alcohol abuse, but beyond that education, I don't know what I can do to stop people from drinking. If people are going to drink and have a good time, why don't they have a good time for a great cause? If people are going to party, why not party for the future? That's where Kegz for Kids comes in. Because one positive that I can see coming out of this program is that it could include a group of people who are otherwise not actively engaged, socially or politically. The tragedy is the student who only learns how to party and never comes to understand their place in society. They get tunnel vision between the school and the bar and never bother to look beyond the borders of Miami or Oxford. If Kegz for Kids could possibly raise the social conscience of one such student, it would be a worthwhile venture. Reason number 9. Perhaps one reason some students decide to party instead of get involved with social issues, sometimes student organizations can be a real drag. Kegz for Kids leaves room for having fun. It starts with a name, it gets the point across, but it also shows we're willing to work on the light side of things. I don't think anyone should take themselves too seriously. If you can enjoy what you're doing and see real results, there is no stress. Finally, reason number 10. An underlying concern that has cropped up with most people I've talked to about this idea is that ultimately we're talking about the consumption of massive amounts of alcohol. As I mentioned, one half-barrel kegs contain nearly 7 cases of beer in a nicely compressed package. Kegs are the bane of every college administration's existence. They represent, and some say bring out, the worst of college binge drinking. That's the inconvenient truth. I've already said that education is key to preventing alcohol abuse. Education is the key to preventing dangerous binge drinking practices. Education is the key to preventing alcohol-related robberies, assaults, and rape. But after education, all that's left is free will. Kegs can be consumed safely and are no more dangerous than 7 cases of beer consumed any other way, or a bottle of vodka, or Jack Daniels. Conducted responsibly, keg parties are a completely legal and legitimate form of social drinking. And these images suggest I'm not alone in saying keg parties are fun. Kegz for Kids is an opportunity that I think deserves a chance at Miami. But I can also imagine how far it could go. On college campuses around the country, local chapters could be redistributing keg deposits to thousands of underprivileged children. If national Greek organizations became actively involved, the possibilities would be endless. This is just the kind of aggressive nonprofit entrepreneurship this and other campus communities need to jumpstart innovative approaches to social action. Kegz for Kids. With your help and support, making the world a better place for children, one keg at a time, starting now.